trying to sleep, but the silence is haunting this room every night. I can stand to feel this way. My body's screaming out your name. Didn't wanna say goodbye to you, but you're gone. Oh, I wish the sun.
Friday afternoon, and we are heading over to the Victorian High Country for a week. We're leaving the girls and the tracker at home for this one, so it's just a boys' trip and swags. Obviously, you got Luke sitting here in the patrol. I think just behind us we've got Angus and Matt in Matt's Hilux. I think Angus is actually steering the ship there. Matt's had a couple of big nights at work, and he's probably catching flies right about now. And then behind him we've got Marco in his Jeep. So just the five of us. The weather's meant to be pretty different to what we're used to. They're predicting a bit of a cold snap over in the high country, and there's meant to be even snow falling, so it should be a bit of excitement for us. We've never driven in the snow. So yeah, I think the plan for tonight is we're just out of Lameroo at the moment. I think we're going to find a local pub to have a counter meal at, and then we'll pull up stumps somewhere on the road, well, off the road, and then do the rest of the trip over in the morning. So that's the plan. It'll probably change. It's been a rather slow morning on day two. Turned out to be quite a nice evening. I think it was like 20 degrees when we pulled up at about 10:30 or 10 o'clock. So got the fire cranking and sat around that till about 3 a.m. And we started rolling out of the swags at about 8 o'clock this morning, and just had a bit of an issue with oil pressure. It looks like it's not mechanical, it might be electrical, which is a good thing. Might be the red arc sender on my oil pressure gauge. Are you awake?
Yeah, I am now.
How was it?
Surprising.
Some of us fortunate enough to catch up on some sleep, we get to a little town called Mansfield when Mark notices the V6 Jeep has developed quite an unusual throaty note. So he jumps out to find a bolt has worked loose on the exhaust system, causing a leak. A quick stop into the hardware store for a new bolt and the problem's fixed. With only a few more hours of daylight left, we're back on the road hunting for a camp for the night. With a couple of us off to find firewood, the others pull out the awning and throw out the swags. With Matt now well rested, he's straight to the kitchen to cook dinner for everyone. On the menu is Mum's chicken curry.
Now, Mick, you always got to taste what you're cooking.
Perfect. Last night we had camp at Granny Flat. A few people down there. Not our ideal campsite, but it was not too bad for a single nighter. This morning we've just aired down a little bit, make the ride a little bit smoother, and heading towards the Jeep Track, the Barkley Jeep Track. What is it? just past 11 o'clock in the morning and it's 0 degrees, so I think we're sitting at about 1400 metres above sea level.
Not far after turning off the main road and we're out walking. We want to check out the lines and get some kind of a feel for the rocky track before sending the first truck down. When you're going downhill, a spotter is a must because it's impossible to see past your vehicle and where you're going to place your wheels. All the responsibility is with the spotter. So basically, don't trust just any muppet to guide you through. After all, it's your pride and joy that's in their hands. Come this way a little bit. Yep. On that. Now straighten up, hold it straight. Just one more drop. Woo. This is a lot slipperier than it first looked, and it's too steep to let the vehicle just crawl down, so we're on the brakes the whole way. Mark's pretty keen to avoid that rock ledge that Nick just dropped his rear bar onto, so that was his only request to his spotter. With just the Hilux to come now, Matt may be putting those new bash plates to good use sooner than he thought. We're all pretty much just passengers at this point. The track does level out a little bit here, but it's still steep enough to require braking the whole way down. The rocks are just on that limit of sliding as soon as you drive over them. With one last ledge in this section, Matt gently eases the Hilux's rear bar down. Maybe gently wasn't the right word.
Just had to pull off the track here for another four people go through, so have to get the winch out to get back on the track.
Now that Nick's back on track, we hit a switchback that requires a 3-point turn just to make it around. If it wasn't so damn foggy, it'd likely be a beautiful view. As Mark comes around another switchback, Nick radios from up ahead.
I have done either an axle or a hub or something pretty bad.
Pretty well fucked.
Spot a bother.
Yeah, stay there. We'll run your line down.
Alright, Nick, you ready for winch in?
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa!
Jump.
Wants to tip me over.
Snatch block into a tree, so it's pulling straight back.
Yeah. On that last switchback there, I don't know, it might be a hub. Stupid auto hubs. I've locked them in manually, but it sounded like a hub went. We tried winching straight off Mark's vehicle, but it was just wanting to roll me over. Now we're just going to run a snatch block to get a better line to pull, see if that works.
With the direction of the winch line and the angle of the patrol, all the winch was going to do was roll the patrol over. So using a winch block for a straighter line is our only option. As Nick assisted the winch pull by reversing, another loud bang comes from the front of the patrol. If the hub wasn't completely stuffed before, it certainly is now.
I should be good to roll out from there, Marco.
Alright, copy that. Backing off.
So as Nick moves the vehicle further down the hill, now he's just hoping there's nothing too extreme ahead without having four-wheel drive. After the reality check of the patrol almost going on its side, we're all on edge a little more now. Just a small reminder of how quickly it can go pear-shaped. If anything, we're probably pretty lucky that it was the first vehicle and not the last, as having to turn around and try and recover that would be an absolute nightmare.
Big drop, Mark. Back wheel's about to drop off.
Everyone's on deck on this track, and to try and avoid unnecessary body damage, we're building the track up a bit. A few well-placed rocks can make the world of difference. It looks like Angus is well on his way for another best on ground performance, and a rock like that should be enough to stop the Hilux smashing the rear bar again.
Keep coming easy. Yep. Keep coming. Keep going. That's it.
Yet another switchback that requires a couple of bites. After the patrol and Jeep make their way around, Matt in the Hilux knows he's got the tightest turning circle of all three vehicles. So he takes a wider line, hoping to make it around without having to reverse back up the hill. Matt might just sneak it in, with the front wheel really pushing the limits of the edge. From here, it looks like he might just about make it around. But up ahead, there's a big stump that thinks otherwise. So he's going to have to grab reverse and just like the first two did, reverse back up. But with no traction in the front, he needs to grab the front locker for some traction on the driver's side. With minimal steering input, Matt just lets the locker do the work. That moves the vehicle over perfectly, and it's a straight drive from here.
Looking a bit hairy there for a second. Our left, yeah, right hand down.
Let Angus do this again. You're right. Yep. Meet the job there, mate.
The Jeep's feeling right at home here on the Barkley River Jeep Track. It's what they were built for. Slow, technical, and big wheel travel. As the terrain begins to level out a little bit, we find ourselves in wheel ruts with banks on both sides. The patrol might just have to watch its wide rear end through here. After this last section, we're at the end of the trail. With a couple of small issues, the Barkley River Jeep Track has certainly been worth the drive.
Camp for tonight. It is windy, it is 2 degrees. First thing we needed to do, get some wood. Had a lot of rain overnight, so the wood is wet, doesn't help. Swag's good to go. We'll get a couple of awnings out in case we see some rain, which is probably 100% likelihood. Trying out these new front runner chairs we got. We're just sick of packing some big ass chairs, so we decided to go with something small. We're barbecuing tonight.
Yeah, I think we'll put a hot plate on the fire.
Yep.
I think it's another hub, if not 2 hubs done. I've got one spare, so we'll have a look at that in the morning probably. Can't be bothered now, just enjoy a beer.
How'd the Jeep go?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's better off-road than it is on-road, so if it's shit off-road, then what's it good for? So, no, it comes into its own, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome track.
Yeah, good track. I wouldn't go up it without lockers. Wouldn't waste my time. You're winching too much.
With our swags all pegged out and a saturated pile of wood drying out around the fire, all that's left to do is crack open a bottle of port and fire up the cooker, as tomorrow is another adventure.